Hello, hello, hello. Welcome back to Pillow Talking with Sharice. Um, I am not on the couch. I'm actually standing because my back hurt, but I did want to come and just give another update on the intracranial hypertension and what I am learning on this journey. So the last time I did a video, which has been a while ago, I apologize. But the last time I did a video, it was just really just speaking on how I was diagnosed with IIH and the symptoms that I was experiencing. And also that I am right now going through what I need to go through for possible weight loss surgery. So I have done everything on my checklist except for like one more test that I have to do, and then I would be able to get a surgery date. But I am still working to try to lose the weight on my own, and I'll touch a little bit on that as well during this video. But one of the things that I have been trying to experiment with myself, and again, y'all, I am only speaking on my personal experiences. The hopes of this is just to maybe find other people who have intracranial hypertension or know someone with intracranial hypertension. And maybe we can, share experiences and stories and maybe help each other out. Maybe someone who's having symptoms but have not been diagnosed with it, they may be able to get some type of answers. Like, I don't know. Everything that I do is pretty much to try and put information out there, or to, like I said, kind of like just have conversation, because everybody does deal with things differently. Their bodies are different, but it's good to be able to speak with others who are going through the same thing and can relate to what you're going through. So I just say that to say this is all personal experiences for me. Okay. I spoke with my dietitian from the weight loss program, and she was explaining to me that, a lot of the information that I was given as far as diet wise was basic information that they would give to a patient who's going through the weight loss process. But my case, of course, is a little bit different because of the intracranial hypertension. And one of the things that she told me, because the whooshing sound was getting worse, it felt like. And so one of the things that she kind of like pointed out for me individually was that I was drinking too much water. I was drinking anywhere from 6 to 8 bottles of water a day. With intracranial hypertension, it is fluid building up on your brain through the spinal. So they have me on Diamox. I take 1,500 milligrams of Diamox a day. That is a water pill pretty much to, get the water out of my system. So only thing that I was doing was taking the medicine to release fluids, but then I'm adding it all back with all of the water that I was drinking. So I needed to cut back on my water intake daily. So the suggested amount of water for me is 3, maybe 4 bottles of water a day, which has been kind of hard because I love drinking water, especially cold water, which is also something that I used to not do. I used to only drink room temperature water, but I've been really, really loving cold water since I've had my hysterectomy. And then also through my blood levels, we found that my vitamin A levels were extremely high. So I needed to cut back on foods that were high in vitamin A, like the bell peppers, shrimp. It's a whole list of other things that she said, and I'll try to put a clip in of like items that they told me to. I don't have my documents with me, and I apologize. I just randomly decided to go ahead and do this update video, so I don't have everything with me. But that, and then my cholesterol levels was high. I love eating seafood boils, and those butter sauces are not good, so I had to cut back on that. And experimenting with cutting back on those items. Now, I've only lost 2 pounds. It didn't do anything significantly for my weight loss, but it did help a lot with the whooshing sound in my ear. I have been going a couple of days where I had very, very little the whooshing sound in my ear. And then I noticed that, when I would eat certain things, the whooshing sound would come back, and it would come back in full force. It'd be extremely loud. And I also noticed that the louder it gets, it kind of messes with my anxiety. I don't know how the two relate. And I don't know if it's maybe because I'm getting so upset because the noise is there. And when the noise is there, it messes with my concentration, my focus. I feel like I'm stuttering or, things like that. So I try to watch what I'm eating because I have really, really been enjoying to not have the noise. Like I would go hours and not have the whooshing sound in my ear at all. And when it would come and it would be very, very faint and it would not last long. So that is one thing that I'm learning. And maybe, some of the people out there who's dealing with intracranial hypertension, you may want to try some of this as well. And maybe it can help you with some of those symptoms. But of course, I always recommend speak with your health providers first to get their input. This is just what has been working for me. Like I said, drinking the 3 to 4 bottles of water has been hard just because of my love for water, but it has been doing really well for me as far as with the whooshing in the ear. I still get the migraines, not as often, but I do get them sometimes. What else? So that's really it that I've really tried. I've just tried switching up the diet like the nutritionist suggested, and I cut back on my water intake, and I just been watching like the foods that I eat as far as the making sure I try to have things that are not high in vitamin A, try to cut back on the cholesterol items that will contribute to having high cholesterol. That was really it. But as far as my weight, so I have not been going to the gym because I have bulging discs in my back, but I'm going to try to fight through that because I have been going to the chiropractor, and the stretches that they've been doing, I've been feeling a lot better. The soreness is still there. And I also learned that the stiffness that's in my neck could also be caused by intracranial hypertension. So whereas though I was told I have a pinched nerve and a little bit of arthritis in my neck, the stiffness could be coming from the IIH. So I got to try to kind of like fight my way through that. I do have some medicine that the doctors gave me to help deal with that. So I'm going to try and go ahead and get back at the gym. But I have been doing, I was going up and down the steps maybe 8 times a day, taking the steps. And then on my breaks, I would go and I would walk the whole parking lot, and I would walk the parking garage where I worked at. So I'm going to get back to doing that. The only reason I stopped was, again, my back was hurting, and the chiropractor said that because of the steps, I was probably doing too much for my back. So continue my walking, but try to stay away from the steps. So that's what I've been doing with that. But even with doing that and watching what I eat, I have been, let me show you. Let me grab it real quick. So my meals, I went and brought these little containers. And these containers is what I have been filling my meal up with. So I would make sure, I kind of did like layers. So I would do like my starch, which we shouldn't have much of, but we can have a little bit. My favorite is rice. I got to come away from it. I would have some rice. Then I would do a layer of the vegetables. And then I would put my protein on top. Everything being the size of the palm of my hand. Put it in here. And I was eating like that. I stuck to that for 2 weeks, which was not long enough. So I need to get back to it. And it was just a matter of cooking for me. Getting off of work, going to the chiropractor, coming home, doing whatever I need to do at the house and stuff like that. I wasn't cooking a lot. So I need to get back to my meal prep Sundays because that was really, really helping me. But the 2 weeks that I did this, I lost 4 pounds. And then, unfortunately, 2 of those pounds came back. So it's like a hit and miss with the weight thing with me. So I'm trying to really, really focus on getting the weight off and keeping it off. Once I turn in this test and I get a surgery date, I am going to try to push the surgery date back as far as that they allow me to do it later on in the year. Right now we're in the middle of May, almost end of May. Maybe like November if I can. But whatever the latest that I can push it out is what I'm going to push it out to. Reason being, I really want to go in and try to get this weight off the natural way and keep it off to see what it does. I do have a new neurologist, and this new neurologist that I did ask the question, once the weight is off, if I still have the symptoms, what happened? And unfortunately, she said, then this is the last resort, but what the next step would be to have a shunt put in my brain. And that's something that I do not want. So I'm praying that the weight loss does help with everything, which I have high hopes because, like I said, I've been seeing a difference in just with the foods that I eat. So I hope that this information can help someone. If you are out there, you are dealing with intracranial hypertension. I know that it is more cases, I should say, than we think it is from what medical staff say. But I also know that it's also not that common. I was told that it was mainly in women. The last video, I had a young man comment on the video, and he told me that he was dealing with it. So he's the first guy that I heard of that was dealing with intracranial hypertension. And again, this is why I'm doing this, to kind of, meet other people that's dealing with this and learning their symptoms and the treatments that they were offered. Maybe it's something that we can help each other with, or, just to have like a little support and have somebody to talk to that fully understands what we are going through as IIH diagnosed patients. So that is all that I have for today. Again, I hope that this information helps someone. The purpose of this video was to share what I have been doing and how it has helped the symptoms, especially with the whooshing in the ear, to kind of calm down just by changing my eating habits. So again, for me, I switched up my water intake. I drink 3 to 4 bottles of the 16.9 ounce bottles of water. And then from my blood work, my vitamin A levels were extremely high. So I needed to cut back on the foods that were high in vitamin A. And what I did initially when I first learned this information, for the first week, I did not eat foods that were high with vitamin A. And then also my sodium and cholesterol. That's what it was, cholesterol. So that is what I did, and it has been helping me. Oh, and what I was saying was, I did realize, I think I might have said it, I don't know, my memory. When I eat foods that I should not have, the whooshing sound does come back. I think I did mention that. But for example, the other day I had a pack of beef ramen. Oh, oodles and noodles. I am getting to have the same ramen, but it's oodles and noodles. Well, I mean, it is ramen. It's ramen, but I had a pack of these, but the beef flavored. And before I got finished eating the bowl, the whooshing sound was in my ear, and it was extremely loud and caused me to become extremely angry. So I know that, unfortunately, as good as these are, if I have it, I need to not have it with the season packet that comes with it. But that is all that I have. I am almost at that 15-minute mark that I try not to go over. So thank y'all for joining me. I can't wait to see your comments below. I think I've been answering the comments. I'm not sure. I'm still trying to get used to this. This is like a test for me, but it's also a live journal. So thank y'all for joining me, and I hope to see you all soon. And as we say on our main channel, make sure you tell somebody that you love them, because tomorrow is not promised. Bye, y'all.